I went to another store in the same hobby, the same plaza, called Wizard's Tower. Very, very geeky, nerdy name. They sell a lot of Magic the Gathering stuff. Yeah, they're really big into MTG, but they also sell a lot of miniatures for D&D and board games. And I went in there thinking I might buy a few more of these figures, you know, a few more D&D figures, because you know, we finished this guy, so maybe I thought, let's buy another big guy from the same manufacturers. But I saw something else, and I was like, yeah, let's buy that instead. And it's this. Dark Souls, the board game. Phantom's expansion. And this is an expansion set to the Dark Souls board game, which I don't have, and I'm kind of not really interested in playing it. I did look up reviews when it first came out, and most people seem to say that it was okay. Bacon, oh shit. Who's that? Who's that? These two were like pretty much the main reason. I was like, they made miniatures of these guys. Let's get it. Hello. So yeah, this will come with a bunch of stuff for the game, which I'm probably not going to use. Let's take a look at the back. And pardon the glare, everyone. Okay, tell you what, let's just open this up so we won't get as much glare. I bought this and I was like, let's do it. Maybe we can use these for the mini to paint next challenge. You guys can contribute your points and decide what's the next mini to paint. Bacon, the samurai and the monks and stuff. Yeah, I've got even more miniatures besides that. So it's just like Gunpla. It's just like video games and books and anything else. You know, the backlog grows. Summons. So yeah, this is divided into summons and invaders. But these are the summons. Horus the Hushed. Aegon of Karim. This guy looks cool. And some of these characters, summons and invaders, are from Dark Souls 1, and some of them are from Dark Souls 2. I don't think there's any from Dark Souls 3, but I could be wrong. The shield on this guy's amazing. There's good old Onion Knight. Very cool. This one I don't remember. Ruined Alphys, if that's from Demon Souls, if that's from Dark Souls or 1 or 2 or 3. Swordmaster. Oh, there are DS3 characters here. Maybe that's the one. Those are the ones I don't recall. This guy looks cool. Swordmaster. That looks awesome. Lucatiel from Dark Souls 2. I always liked her armor. Very cool. Cirrus of the Sunless Realms. Possibly Dark Souls 3? I don't know. Yes, look at this guy. Sellsword Luit. Double shield action. Gotta love it. Ah, the first two are from Dark Souls 3? Oh, okay. Yeah, because I kind of remember this armor. I wore it myself, but I didn't use the big hammer and stuff. Rogue Witch Beatrice. That one looks cool. And this possibly contributed to like 60% of the reason why I bought this in the first place. Solaire of Astoria. But let's go through the invaders really quick. Armorer Dennis. Marvelous Chester, which I believe is from Dark Souls 1, and was kind of like a prototype. Like his whole outfit and style looks very much like Bloodborne. But of course, Bloodborne would come out many years later. Invader Brylex. Paladin Leroy. The dumb Leroy Jenkins joke from the first game. They made a miniature out of him. Fencer Sharon. The sculpt on this one looks really cool. And I believe that, so when the first the first miniatures of this set came out, I think that they were a little soft, and some of the details, like, or some of the weapons were bent, right? Kind of like WizKids miniatures, but that can be fixed. So I don't know about this box, but we'll see. Longfinger Kirk, that guy's really cool. Spiky, very metal. Melinda the Butcher. Maldron the Assassin. Man-Eater Mildred. Classic. And this guy, Xanathos King Jeremiah. Love the headgear. Very memorable. And Oliver the Collector, possibly from Dark Souls 3. Again, I'm not too familiar with that guy. So, all of those miniatures, 10 summons and 11 invaders. I felt like that was a pretty good collection of guys. So let's open this baby up and see. Ooh. There we are. Dark Souls, the board game. Maybe if I have a lot of fun with this, maybe we can kind of get into it. Maybe I'll check out the board game. I don't know. Or maybe we can use them for something else, like some other kind of game. I'm sure that a lot of people buy these and actually use them for D&D and stuff, right? They're too good. They are too good to not be used for that. Bunch of cards and tokens and more cards and more tokens, all of which I will probably just put back in the box and not really touch again. They can stream the board game? Maybe. I've never played the board game, and I actually don't have the board game. This is simply an expansion to it, so I would have to get it. But perhaps, if there's interest in such a thing, we can do that. All right. Let's get this out. At least they're very nicely kind of placed in a container. How are we gonna do this? And I should have mentioned that the manufacturer of these miniatures and the manufacturer of this game is Steamforged Games. And they do a lot of licensed games and a lot of licensed board games for miniatures. And no, that doesn't make sense. They do a lot of licensed games for. Sorry guys. I'm sure you love this sound. It's very oh, there's tape. That would probably help. I'm sure that was all very pleasant to listen to. Yeah, Steamforged Games make a lot of oh, look at that. Cracked red eye orbs. They make a lot of board games with miniatures based on video games. That's the sentence I wanted to say, including Horizon Zero Dawn. And the miniatures always look really cool, but I keep hearing how the games that they make are kind of like so-so, but I don't know. Let's take a look. There's Xanathos, and I would say the sculpt and the detail is really quite nice. Like the wrappings and the bandages, they look really good actually. So I'm pretty excited about these miniatures. Pretty nice. And they actually feel like hard plastic. I thought they were going to be a very soft plastic. There's a Man-Eater Mildred, I think. Pretty nice. So maybe what we'll do is, if we achieve the goal for what mini to paint next challenge, I'll group a couple of these together into a grouping, into a batch, and then I'll have you guys vote on like a smaller selection of them, like of 5 of these. I'll choose 5, and then you guys can vote on one of the 5 for me to paint next, and we'll kind of do it like that. Something like that. Marvelous Chester. And I'm actually not seeing a lot of mold lines, which is really nice. I'm not seeing a lot of like cleanup that I'm going to have to do. This has like a weird black blotch here, which is unusual, but it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And yeah, the weapons seem pretty straight. This guy has a very long sword, but it does curve a little bit. We can fix that with hot water, similar to how I was making those icicles. So yeah, very cool. And I like that they're kind of all here in this container, because then I can put them back easily and I won't have to deal with them getting scratched up in a box. This guy, I really like this guy. Really cool. Very simple. Very simple but tall. Sword Master? What does it say here? Sword Master, yeah. Where's this guy from? Dark Souls 2 or 3? Very excited. And I really don't know what I'll do in terms of display for this. Like, will I make a big display board? Will I make a diorama? I haven't really gotten that far. Maybe I won't do anything like that at all. Just kind of keep it simple and just paint them and just leave it as is. DS3 bacon, cool. I like this model too, a wizard. Very neat. Love the hat, very, very classic hat. So yeah, for a collection of miniatures, you know. Oh, the shield detail on this is really good. Mojo, I was here first, but I was eating. Yep. What's up, Mojo? So yeah, if you haven't really pieced it all together, I bought these miniatures, Dark Souls, the board game, Phantom Expansion miniatures. And yeah, I'm just kind of looking at them and kind of enjoying these miniatures and getting really excited about them. Yeah, let's look at the shield detail. Really, really nice detail there. So that's something where I want to do a really good job and make that look really, really good. And I guess I'll have to do a lot of research in terms of oh boy, look at this. Look at this frickin' sword. Uh-oh. That's a problem. And we can fix that though. We can get some hot water and we can bend it. Basically, you take some boiling hot water and submerge the model, the bent part in, and then it'll become pliable again and you can kind of straighten it out. And then dip it in some cool water to kind of freeze it in place, I guess. But yeah, it's not too big of a deal. We can fix that. Mojo, Dark Souls board game? Indeed, indeed. This is merely the expansion to the Dark Souls board game. I don't have the actual full game itself. I just bought this just because I loved the miniatures in it. And let's take a look. This is the guy. This is the guy that I wanted the most. Right here. Solaire, Brolaire. He's doing it. That's the pose, guys. Praise the sun. And it might be a little hard to see because of the glare and focus being stupid, but he does have the face icon on his chest, the sun. It's sculpted, so I won't have to paint that myself. It's sculpted, so it'll be really easy to paint. There it is, bacon. Lucatiel from Dark Souls 2, very cool. Nice hat. She basically has like a battleship for a hat. It's so big. I can just see her being propped up against a wall. And man, I'm so tempted to make a diorama of Lucatiel just propped up against the wall by a bonfire. Like, that would look so good. Oh my god. But we will see. This guy's from Dark Souls 3, which Bacon kindly reminded me. And now that I'm looking at him in person, I do recall he doesn't speak, right? He just kind of goes like, "Rrr." I don't even remember the full side quest with this character. Horace the Hushed. And okay, so we were at this hobby store And they had a lot of stuff like this, and they had a lot of other miniature games. Like there's a Marvel based miniature game called Crisis Protocol. They had a lot of nice miniatures for that too. There was a Bloodborne board game, guys. A Bloodborne game, and I was tempted to get that. I was like, ooh. But I kind of was like, let's get this because I like the assortment. And we'll maybe think about some Bloodborne miniatures another time because there's some nice ones. There's a set that includes the Moon Presence and a bunch of other ones. Really nice stuff. Bacon, all right, gonna have to get ready for work. Catch you later. All right, thanks for stopping by, Bacon. Again, I wanted to make sure that you saw this because I did message you previously, kind of hinting at that I bought something that you might be interested in. So I wanted to definitely show my pal Bacon. So I'm glad that you at least popped in and you got to see that. Mojo, I wonder how the board game is played. Yeah, actually, you can watch some demos of the game on YouTube. There's some examples of people that play it on YouTube, and from what I gather, it seems kind of like there's this really old game from the 80s called Hero Quest. It's kind of like that. It's not quite full-on Dungeons and Dragons where you're role-playing. You know, it like Dungeons and Dragons is a game where there's multiple players, and then there's another person that's going to be sort of the dungeon master that controls like the enemies and stuff. It's not quite like that. Instead, I believe that the enemy characters in this Dark Souls game are controlled by like a card-based AI, right? So like there's this deck of cards, and the deck of cards has commands, and the commands are randomized, right? And you just sort of draw a card, and it'll say, like, you know, the Capra demon does a sword slash, that kind of thing. Mika, that was some good haddock. Ooh, haddock. How did you prepare the haddock? Very interested. What made these look like decent sculpts? Oh yeah, so the manufacturer is SFG. Right here, Steam Forged Games, and they're mostly known for making licensed games based off of video games. They've made this Dark Souls one, but they've also made a Horizon Zero Dawn game, a Resident Evil game, I think, and a Devil May Cry game, and they're all miniature-based games. And the miniatures look quite good, as you were saying. They're quite decent. I'd say that they look. Oh, could you show that again? The right here. This is the company SFG Steam Forged Games. Steam Forged Games or Steam Forged Games. SFG. Dark Souls the board game. I would say that the sculpts are probably better than the WizKid sculpts. Oh, and by the way, Mika, thank you so much for the contribution to the vote on next mini challenge. I appreciate it. Again, for those that are listening that may have missed it, I redid the challenge. So many of you, all of you who previously contributed to the original challenge, you've been refunded. And all your Energon is back in your wallet, and now you can freely do with it as you please, including give it back to the challenge once again, the challenge that I started. And we're very close to completing it. Actually, I redid it to make it like a more achievable goal, and we are actually very close to achieving the goal now. Mika, can you up the contribution limit? I can't actually. I looked into that because Night Trap was asking about that too, and I didn't realize it at the time that the max contribution per viewer per stream is 2,000, and I didn't realize it when I first created that challenge. So I looked into it when I was making the new one, and it seems like it remains that way. There's no way to adjust it. But I think that Twitch does it that way to encourage people to basically come back, right? It makes it so that you guys have to come back and contribute. You can't all just activate it in one fell swoop. But yeah, that is the Dark Souls Phantoms expansion minis. I bought that because I thought it was really neat. I actually didn't even knew that this existed. I heard of the board game, but I didn't know that there was an expansion with a bunch of miniatures that I adore, and characters that I love. So I'm looking forward to this. Maybe we'll take a look at these instructions a little later, just to see what it's like. And the presentation seems pretty nice. But yeah. Look at that.